What's up, everyone? Talking about that domestic terrorist we had outside the home of one of the Supreme Court justices, and he was engaged in a plot to murder Brett Kavanaugh. And I guess murder or attempted murder charges have been filed. But from what I've heard, I haven't heard any discussion about terrorism charges. Now, this guy was in the process of carrying out a plot to murder, assassinate a Supreme Court justice, and he stated that his motivation, I've heard a couple different things on this. For the most part, I'm hearing that he was stating his motivation was because of, a fan of the justice, because he knew the justice or believed the justice was going to vote to basically a pro-life position on the vote for that whatever the case is coming up here. And I heard another one saying that it had to do with this guy didn't like Kavanaugh's position on gun situation. So either way, it's politically motivated act of violence, which is a definition of terrorism. But because this guy has left wing ideology, they're not going to, make any type of claims or charges or investigation of terrorism. This administration we got right now in this country always telling us about the number one threat to the country. And if the United States of America goes to shit, it's all over, because the rest of the world is going to go to shit too. Because that's just the way it is. So when you say something's the number one threat to the US of A, you're basically saying it's the number one threat in the world. So, as we all know, this administration is always talking about the white supremacy, terrorist, number one threat, blah, 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 right-wing ideology, and all this crapola. But, I think a pretty serious threat is an actual attempted plot to kill one of the 9 Supreme Court justices. The only thing that would be bigger than an attempt on a Supreme Court justice would be an attempt on either the president, the vice president, or maybe the Speaker of the House. Because if you look at it, one of 9 Supreme Court justices, there's only 9 Supreme Court justices, members of Congress, right? So let's throw out the House of Reps, because there's hundreds of those. There's only 100 senators. So an attempt on a Supreme Court justice's life is more serious than an attempted assassination of a senator. So that's what I'm saying. The only thing bigger than an attempt on a Supreme Court justice's life would be an attempt on the president, vice president, or Speaker of the House. Which, if there were an attempt on any of those three, all of those three, I'm not going to give my opinion about that, because if I were to talk about that, there's ramifications for these type of and I'll just it's probably a crime just to think some of these things these days, with the or not a crime, but they would like it to be a crime, they being asswipes calling the shots these days. But so no terror charges against this terrorist. And Democrat talking heads, politicians, office holders, media types, they've been promoting political violence for years now, and they only complain about it when it's the other side, even though, as far as I'm aware, there's a lot more political violence coming from the left these days than there is from the right. But the corporate media, being the left as they are, love to do the coverage when it's from the right, or they even attribute it to the right when it's from the left. Schumer out there for how many years now, basically making threats in public on the mic You're going to reap the whirlwind and all this shit that he was saying. Mad Maxine Waters out there promoting violence. Camel Toe Harris providing funds to bail out the criminals that were wreaking havoc in the riots of 2020. You know, protesting outside the home of a Supreme Court justice is a crime in and of itself, but the members of the current administration were promoting it. You know, you had Ginger Goebbels up there. Jen Psaki was up there. Oh, it's a peaceful protest and people blah, 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 blah. No, it's a crime. And the executive office of this country should be enforcing the laws, not encouraging people to break the laws. You know, the executive office heads the Justice Department, which controls the FBI. Get the FBI out there, get the U.S. Marshals, get some type of federal law enforcement agency out to the homes of these Supreme Court justices and start arresting. Arresting, not erasing. I mean, what would erasing actually mean? Well, I think I know what I'm thinking. But anyways, I'm not here promoting violence. I'm here promoting the stopping of violence. Do your job, administration. Arrest these people that are outside the homes of Supreme Court justices and they're protesting. I mean, it's a crime. Let's enforce the laws on the books. But no, it's not going to happen because this administration is just like the likes of these Soros-backed and funded DAs like Gascon here in Los Angeles, and that Chesa Boudin, who just got the boot up in San Francisco miraculously. And I think Gascon's going to end up the same as Home Slice up there. So, you know, up there in San Francisco, first you got a group of parents got together and gave the boot to a couple of the leftist scumbags that were on the Board of Education, and now they voted to give Chesa Boudin the boot. San Francisco is probably one of the most, if not the most leftist-leaning, well, they leaned so far left they fell over years ago, but that's one of the most leftist populations in the country, and they've had enough of this shit. The crime is out of control. Up there in San Francisco and down here in LA, you got the crime wave going on. Homelessness is just rampant, and I've lived in Southern California my whole life, so I know what it used to be like, and I see what it's like now, and the homelessness all throughout Los Angeles County, it's in Orange County, it's up in San Francisco, it's out of control. You know, you got these homeless people pinching a loaf on the sidewalk, taking a squirt wherever they damn well please, leaving their needles in the streets, and you got the smash and grab. You had the whoever made this decision in California. If it's not over, I think it's $900, you can steal whatever you want. That's why we've got all these smash and grabs going on. Day after day on the boob tube, you see more and more just out of control scumbag criminal types. The crime is everywhere. It's violent crime. It's ripping shit off, and it's just out of control. So, you know, let's have these people that are are elected officials, and I use these, you know, the air quotes when I say elected, because who knows what's going on with that action. But here's an actual example, the murder attempt of Justice Kavanaugh, an example of actual terrorism, and no one's even mentioned the word terrorism when talking about it. Attempted murder charges have been filed. Well, how about some fucking terrorist charges? You know, how about we actually go after the real terrorists in this country, BLM and Antifa? And yeah, if you want to go after the right-wing terrorists, wherever the fuck they are, because there hasn't been too many examples of it happening, you know. Oh, well, this mass shooter, he was targeting a black neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, maybe that was uh, an example of extremist violence, but that was probably also an example of a fucking nut job. Now, is the same true for this guy targeting Kavanaugh? I don't know, but you know, they always seem to point to mental illness for certain criminal acts, but not for others. So interesting. But I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I just want to bitch and complain about the fucking asshole administration we got in this country right now, letting criminals run wild, actively committing crime outside Supreme Court justices' homes, trying to intimidate them into changing their decision, and no terror charges. You know, this is a type of stuff where uniparty, these scumbag people, the ruling class in this country, uh, they're just creating chaos, whether it's domestically or when it comes to internationally. Let's create chaos. Let's weaken the country. Let's undermine people's faith in institutions. And why are they doing this? Because they're trying to destroy the country so that they can step in and grab more power, because that's all they want, more power. And then what are they going to do with that power is take away more and more of your rights and your freedoms. And we need to get your asses out there and vote, because, oh, it's a fixed election. Don't vote. It's a waste of time. Now you're doing exactly what they want you to do. But, you know, people need to get active. They need to vote. They need to, you know, get active in their community, get educated on stuff. And even then, you know, my take is that shit's already gone past the point of no return in this country. And I don't think it's ever going to get back to where it was, you know, prior to 1999. I think that this century, this country and Western Civ in general is just it's gone too far. The decay is in motion. I don't think that it's ever going to return back to the glory days. I mean, I think back to when I was a kid, how things were in the 70s and 80s, and even, you know, leading up to that, and how things were even through the 90s and the early 2000s. Shit ain't ever going to go back. I'll be surprised if it does. I don't think I'll live to see the total downfall, but I'm not going to live to see any improvements, because I think shit's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, and kind of extremely pessimistic about whether it's ever going to get better again. So thanks for watching, and stick around on my channel, like, share, and subscribe, because I'm always putting out such cheerful, happy, uplifting content about how shit's going to hell in a handbasket, right? But you know, I gotta keep it real. All right, everyone, I'll catch you on the next one.